Well, the statistics about cybersecurity are staggering. And while these concerns affect everyone, a new study from Cox Mobile reveals that those caring not only for themselves, but their children and aging parents carry possibly the heaviest burden.
To explain what caregivers can do to ease some online safety concerns and find peace of mind, we're joined by the founder of Healthy Caregiver, Elizabeth Miller. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Yeah. So first, now we hear this term, I've just been introduced to it today, sandwich generation. Will you define that for us and tell us why they seem to carry so much of this worry around online safety?
Yes, well, yeah, sandwich generation, we're feeling the squeeze on many fronts, right? We're squeezed between caring for our aging parents and caring for our children at the same time. Many of us, like myself, also juggling a career and a household. So when it comes to online safety and digital safety, you can imagine that that has been a real stressor for us. In fact, 86% in this survey said that it was a top concern for them, and 30% of them definitely are feeling the overwhelm from it. And they've got concerns that make sense, right? They're caring for their aging parents, they're worried about identity theft, they're worried about privacy violations, and then on the other hand, they're worried for their teenagers about cyberbullying and online predators. And then we're also online ourselves. So we've spent more than 5 hours a day on connected devices. So we have to mitigate those risks too.
Yeah, there's so much to keep in mind. And you mentioned a few, but just from your perspective, is there kind of a common online safety concern across all three of those generations?
One of the things that's certainly common across all three generations is the misinformation, disinformation that can result from using generative AI. So we saw in the survey that a third of seniors, a third of sandwich generation, and a fifth of teenagers have experienced mis or disinformation in the past 12 months. So generative AI is certainly something across all three generations that we need to be mindful of, that, you know, as an output we can get from some of these resources.
What's one of the biggest threats to online safety across all of these generations?
Yes, I mean, there's the generative AI, I think, is one that we're certainly keeping an eye on. Teenagers have said in this survey that the majority of them have used AI, generative AI tools, and that they've used them on a regular basis. So it's certainly something that we're going to see growing, and we've got to be mindful of, and again, do that online fact checking to make sure that we're checking some of these claims that we're seeing online and through these tools.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's very important. What are your tips to ease our stress when it comes to online safety?
So there's some good tips out there that we can all implement. We can, you know, set strong passwords that people aren't going to think of. We're going to only click on trusted URLs, and we're going to do some of that fact checking of those online claims that we're seeing. I think another thing that we can certainly do is check with our internet provider, check with our device manufacturer, make sure that we're taking advantage of the security and safety features that are already built within those products. Those could be things like, you know, malicious activity monitoring, parental controls, elder-friendly modes, and even some remote monitoring. So when you're running some of this in the background, that's going to add that extra layer of protection, and it's also going to provide us some peace of mind too.
Yeah, and you've kind of already answered this, or at least answered part of it, but I'm just curious about being proactive, right? Because we know that we need to be proactive about these things instead of reactive. So how can we be more proactive and better protect our family's online safety?
Yeah, proactivity is everything. It's not a matter of you know, if, it's when, frankly. And so good news is that the survey showed that many families are already having these conversations with their aging parents, with their teenagers. And so to keep having those honest and open communication lines. So to further the impact of the survey that they did, Cox Mobile worked with Common Sense Media, and they created some valuable resources that sandwich generation caregivers can take advantage of to better facilitate the conversations between their aging parents and their teenagers and their children.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's great.
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for joining us. And folks can go to, is it coxmobilesafety.com for more info?
You've got it, coxmobilesafety.com.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Stay with us.